So now, ladies and gentlemen, live and in colour, it's Mr. Wayne Lovejuice.
The other day our producer Louis had a chat with an interesting chappie who said that the YouTube algorithm really aren't that happy. If a channel only broadcasts once a week, so we decided we could text ya whenever we've got a piece of news in our new book on the track Xtras.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's John Downs and this young lady here is Lilith Tinkerbell, my favourite of the CFZ cats, but don't tell the others. One of the things that has become quite a thing on YouTube in recent years is unboxing videos. And I have got into the habit of filming when I'm unboxing something that I either suspect or know is going to be interesting. So, this episode of On the Track Extra has 2 unboxings and an interesting thing about trail cameras. So, I hope you enjoy it. Bingo! Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, John Downs. I'm the director of the Centre for Fortean Zoology, which is, as I hope you all know by now, the English-speaking world's longest-standing, largest, and we like to think the best mystery animal research group. And I've just had a parcel. It's a Saturday afternoon. I would like to show you that my partner in crime, Richard Muirhead, is over there fast asleep, and if you hear noises of a coming down the lane, which I don't know if the microphone will pick up or not, it's Sainsbury's bringing our dinner and other things. And I have a parcel that Graham's just brought me in, so let's do an unboxing or an unpacketing or whatever we're going to call it. I do know what this is, or I think I know what it is. And this is something I've wanted for a long time. It's something I've been waiting for years. And guess what happens? The phone comes on, does a emergency sign. It's something I've been waiting for years. Because when I first read about it, in an interview with Alan Moore, something like, well, my wife was still alive, so it was more than 5 years ago. Him and Steve Moore, who's an old mate of mine, who's now sadly died, were working on something called The Moon and Serpent Bumper Book of Magick. Well, I really, really wanted it. It was more expensive when it finally came out. It was more expensive than I could justify, especially with mortgage rates being so high. But the mortgage rates have come down a bit. And although I said I wasn't going to buy anything else until I moved house, well, a bit like when Miss Guinevere says that she's not going to buy any more stick insects. Rules are made to be broken. And this is a book I have wanted for a very, very long time. Let's have a look inside. How gorgeous. What an absolutely gorgeous, beautifully laid out book. It gives you an introduction to all sorts of things about magic. This is almost like a beautifully laid out magic for dummies. I mean, I'm going to find you a, look at that, isn't it beautiful? It's what you would expect because Alan Moore is, of course, best known as a comic book artist, as a comic book author, and he works with some amazing comic book artists, and they're all here. And now the dog's starting to bark. Why? Because the Sainsbury man's just arrived. But look at that. Isn't that utterly gorgeous? I'm very pleased I got it, and I got it cheaper than it would have been. So, I'm not going to thank anybody apart from Alan Moore for finishing it and Steve Moore for what he did to write it while he was still alive. I am going to enjoy this book very much. Archie, I'm trying to give a piece to camera about a book on Enochian magic, not having badly behaved little dogs running about. You'll wake up Richard.
Archie, what mucking about?
He's woken up Richard, he's just woken up, yawned and said, Archie, stop mucking about. It's a lovely book. Let me just read you what it says on the back. Before I switch the camera off and sit down and read it for myself. Here is the Moon and Serpent Grand Egyptian Theatre of Marvels. We have curiosities to suit your every inclination, demonstrations and displays, unique sensations, and a previously unimagined sexual extremity included in the modest cover fee. You dare not bring your wives, persuade your husbands to remain at home. Beyond these, it doesn't say anything about what to do about your dogs. Beyond these doors, we guarantee admittance to a hidden demi-monde with ritual embellishments unpracticed since the 2nd century. There's mountebanks and fiery worms and roses made of time in grand array. Step right this way, step right this way. Cécile La Favorite performs her celebrated dance, removing first her clothing, then her body to a musical accompaniment provided by Chris Rosenkrantz and his Atlantis Playboys. This is one you must not miss. Tell all your friends, tell your enemies, tell all the people you do not know. The Moon and Serpent Grand Egyptian Theatre of Marvels open now for your inspection. Step right up and see the show. See the show. At 9 and at 11, the immortal serpent manifests itself for your delight and your edification. Patrons of a nervous disposition may experience a roaring in the ears or a dislocation of the temporal lobe, for which the Moon and Serpent Grand Egyptian Theatre of Marvels is not legally responsible. We'll give you pennies for your eyes, primeval drugs, constructive lies, and when the candles flare and shake in shining rooms, we'll wake the snake. Wake the snake, being for adults only. Well, I think it's utterly gorgeous. I'm very much looking forward to reading it. All I know about Magick comes from my long-standing relationship with the late great wizard of the Western world, Tony Shields. He asked me once if I wanted to be his apprentice, and Coyne never forgave me when I said no. I don't want to be a wizard. I don't want to be a magician. I know a little bit about magic. I've even done a little bit of magic. Magic runs in my family. And this book is going to tell me an awful lot more, probably far more than I either want to or need to know about the subject. And I'm very glad that I have it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was just a very, very quick introduction to today's post bag. Oh, I like having post that arrives, except when dogs bark. And I have no idea where I'm going to put this book. It's an absolute doorstop of a book. But it looks utterly gorgeous, and I'm very, very much looking forward to reading it.
Seems to be totally dead, actually.
What are you doing, Graham?
Seeing if this camera's willing to wake up or whether it's dead. At the moment, it seems more dead than alive. Getting no sign of life, right?
Is it worth putting other batteries in?
Could be.
And this is one of our old cameras, isn't it?
Yeah, and so far, these batteries have just been used for brief tests on the 3 new cameras, so they shouldn't be dead just yet.
No, one would like to
They've only
think.
done about a quarter of an hour's work in all.
3 new cameras, I thought there were 4.
Well, 4 then. This feels like putting rounds down a rocket launcher.
Which I would like to point out, ladies and gentlemen, is something that we've only had theoretical knowledge of.
Yeah, it's a sort of don't try that at home kind of job, I guess.
Yes.
Ah, well, that seemed... Okay, you might be able to see this. Red light.
Yes. I wonder why the other batteries didn't work when you used them on everything else.
There might have been some fluff or gunk in the way, which when I shook them out, dislodged it possibly. Anyway, this one hasn't got an auto mode for taking real-time photos, so I'm going to have to just set it in action as a kind of Trailcam. The thing is, this is the sort that, if you remember, you need to have all the programming done on a text file on the SD card, so that you stipulate, for instance, whether it takes photos and video or photos only, and also for how long. So I don't know what the default setting is, that's the thing.
Well, we'll see. While you're there, can you just hold up one of the new boxes with the leopard on? Because these are it's a mildly interesting story. We wanted to go and get some new trail cameras, but the last lot I bought, which were not expensive, but they were more money than I would have wanted to pay, were not at all good quality. And I was discussing this with Dave Scott from CFZ Canada, and he told me that he had bought from Temu, of all places, some very cheap trail cameras that came in a box that had a spotted cat, either a leopard or a cheetah, and I haven't actually looked close enough to tell the difference from here. And so he said they were very good, so I crossed my fingers, went to Temu and bought 4 of them. And so far they have been excellent. 3 of them I have no quibble with at all. The 4th, the pictures come out with a slightly sepia-ish tinge, but they are sharp
and well focused and much better than the ones that I bought off eBay that cost considerably more. Now we're going through all the other cameras we've got, because recently I have lent cameras out to people who have then either lost them or broken them. And as you probably know, I'm in the process of moving house at the moment. And so we are packing everything up. And one of the things that I'm trying to do is to pack up, to sort out which of our trail cameras work, so I can throw away the ones that don't work, try and find the ones that I think I've lost in the house and have got mixed up with all the packing, and to basically get into the position again that we have got trail cams that are deployable at a moment's notice.
But as well as trail cameras, I also received an intriguing looking parcel in the post this morning. Now, I know what this is, or I think I know what it is, but I guarantee it's something that's never been shown on a broadly cryptozoological web TV show ever before. It's from a mate of mine who's a writer and poet called Malcolm Paul, who is best known for his writings for International Times, IT, the magazine that's been going since 1967, which used to be edited by my old mate McFarren, and I'm still gutted that he died as early as he did back in 2013, before I had the chance to introduce my late wife to him, because he was an absolutely wonderful human being, and I'm very privileged to have known him. But anyway, Malcolm sent me this. It is a catalogue for a retrospective art exhibition in Germany featuring one of my favourite artists, songwriters and musicians, Kevin Coyne. Now, I first heard Kevin Coyne in 1976, when I bought a copy of his double live album in living black and white at what used to be Braddock's record shop in Bideford, which is now Braddock's Funeral Parlours. And I was very, very impressed by this eclectic collection of poetry and music, which, by the way, featured Andy Summers from the Police long before he became a policeman. And I, as you may or may not know, together with my first wife, Alison, we used to promote concerts in Exeter. And I actually booked Kevin to play a concert in a venue above a nightclub in Exeter, and I can't remember the name of the place. I could take you there, but I can't remember what it's called. It probably doesn't exist anymore anyway. But I booked him to come play a concert, and I was massively disappointed because, although I was a massive Kevin Coyne fan, and still am, not many other people were, and we sold 2 tickets, and so I had to cancel the concert. Otherwise I would have made an insane loss, which I couldn't afford. So, Kevin, wherever you are, I do apologise for that. I still feel guilty about that. And only a few years after he didn't play a gig for us in Exeter, he moved to Germany, where he concentrated more as a visual artist than as a musical one, although he carried on making records. And he died much too soon. And a few years after his death, this retrospective art exhibition was put on, and Malcolm Paul was lucky enough to go there. And he brought back some
of the catalogues from the exhibition. This is one of them, and it is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to try and show you some of his pictures, because I love his pictures. For example, here's a picture of what looks like an ancient Egyptian princess with two penises on the top of her head. And here are some more of his paintings, and right in the middle you can see that Lilith down in the corner has come in to see, because I think Lilith would almost certainly end up being a Kevin Coyne aficionado as well. Thank you, Malcolm, for this. I will treasure it. And I would like to point out that Archie very much likes the picture on the front cover that he thinks is of him, and Lilith doesn't, because she thinks it should be a cat on the front cover, not a stylized dog. I'm not going to join in this argument, because whichever side I take, I'm certainly going to lose. Thank you very much indeed, Malcolm. I appreciate it tremendously.